probably been told that fibromyalgia has no clear cause, that it's just a mystery condition. But after 25 years of living with it, I started to notice patterns, and researchers are only just beginning to uncover some of these now. Certain factors kept making my symptoms flare. Once I began tackling them, I could finally make sense of what was happening in my body. In this video, I'll share the hidden factors I uncovered so you can start connecting the dots in your own journey too. I'm not a doctor. I am someone who's lived with fibromyalgia for over 25 years, and as a qualified well-being coach, I've helped and supported over 1,400 people to improve their health and lives too. Through a lot of trial and error, flare-ups, and all the experience I've had, I've gradually discovered what was really driving my worst symptoms and flares. This isn't a medical lecture, this is lived experience. If you're struggling with symptoms that don't make sense, this video might help you see things more clearly and hopefully spot some of your own patterns too. I started small. At first, it was just about keeping my body moving. Gentle walks, light stretches, nothing complicated. But then I noticed something. Whenever I was stressed, everything got worse. My pain spiked, my fatigue deepened, and my sleep became almost impossible. And it wasn't just big life events. Even small everyday stresses could set me off. Things like trying to keep up with work, worrying about family, or even just pushing myself when my body needed rest. That's when I realized stress wasn't just uncomfortable. It was actually triggering my flares. My nervous system was already oversensitive, and stress was like pouring petrol onto a fire. So I began working on my mental health. I gave myself permission to rest more. I journaled, I paid attention, and I was lucky enough to join a wellbeing program that helped me so much. Well, so much that I eventually became a teacher of it, and that's how I coach other people. That's when it clicked to me. Managing stress wasn't optional for me. It was the difference between coping and crashing. But even when I managed stress better, my symptoms still didn't always disappear. That's when I started looking at another major factor: food. So I've always had issues with inflammation in my joints, in my guts, and even in my skin. And I began noticing that certain foods made me feel worse. Wheat was the first. It didn't just cause bloating, it completely wiped me out. So I tried a 2-week exclusion test. I cut out bread, pasta, and replaced them with rice and potatoes. And then after 2 weeks, I reintroduced wheat. The result? Within an hour of eating it, I was overwhelmed with exhaustion and I had to go and lie down and fell asleep. And I thought to myself, I don't want to add more discomfort and more illness to myself. I already have fibromyalgia, so if dropping these foods will help me feel a little bit better and not give me so many crashes, then I will cut them out. And then that was enough. I cut out wheat and gluten, and things began to feel a little bit more stable. Later hospital tests confirmed I had severe lactose intolerance, so dairy went next. And eventually I reduced my sugar too, so no more blood sugar crashes leaving me exhausted. So I was doing as much as I could to just minimize the impact of things that I was doing on my health. None of these were magic fixes, but each layer I removed gave me back a little bit more energy, a little bit more stability, and that made a huge difference. If you've ever noticed certain foods leave you wiped out, you might find this kind of simple exclusion experiment helpful too. But even with diet changes as well, there were still some missing pieces. That's when I discovered a whole new way of thinking about fibromyalgia. At the time, I didn't know it had a name. Later I learned that this approach is often called functional medicine. It's really just a way of asking better questions. What's behind this symptom? What's inflamed? What's out of balance? So functional medicine looks at things like gut health, hormones, trauma, inflammation, and the nervous system. It covers all your body with a holistic health approach. In the UK, this kind of medicine is only available through private clinics, and that's not something that I could have afforded. And most people with fibromyalgia can't either, because we tend to be working part-time if we're working at all. But in my own way, I stumbled upon this technique in my life, and I did it through paying closer attention to patterns in my own mind and body. And that mindset changed everything. As I connected the dots, I realized I needed a simple way to keep myself stable every day and keep myself watching every day. So I turned my experience and my self-awareness of flares into a little system that would keep me on track and help me manage my fibro. So the first step was looking at what I do every day to keep myself stable. Secondly, I identified the things that made me feel a bit better. and reduced my flares and my symptoms. And I recognize the triggers that set me off as well. I'll go deeper into each one of these in episode 5, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And I'll give you a full breakdown of my system in that video. Fibromyalgia is real and it's complex, but your body isn't broken. It's trying to protect you, even when the signals get scrambled. The more I listened, the more I understood. And that's what I hope for you too. You're not alone in this. So in this video, we've looked at the kind of things that can set off flares. But what about the symptoms nobody warns you about? Fibro symptoms come in lots of forms. So next time, I'll share 5 hidden fibro symptoms that are rarely talked about, so you'll feel reassured and know that you're not alone in this. So until next time, be well.